Hello guys and welcome back to the Traitors. And today we are going to be talking about Australia Season 1 Episode 8 I think we're on, which means we are 3/4 of the way, nope, 2/3 of the way through the series, which is absolutely crazy. We've got 4 episodes left. Honestly, I don't know how this series is going to end. We've currently got 3 traitors and 7 faithful, I think, if I've done my maths correctly, but I probably haven't. So anything could actually happen here. Genuinely anything. Or maybe I think we're on 11. Yeah, we're on 11 people at the moment. So there's actually 8 faithful left, 3 traitors. There we go. But either way, it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next couple of episodes. This episode was fantastic. And honestly, you guys are missing out if you're not watching it. You really are missing out. If you're not watching it, BBC iPlayer. If you're not in the UK, Daily Motion. Or like 123 Movies or something like that. I don't know. But either way, you got to be watching it. But before we get into the episode, I just want to say thank you guys very, very much for supporting the channel. You guys are doing a fantastic job as per usual. We're almost at 800 as of the time of recording. So if we are over 700, that means we're on the road to 800. And if we're not over 700, what are you doing, guys? What are you doing? I'm away for the weekend and you're not even bringing my subscriber count up. When I've made sure that you guys have got daily videos for you while I'm away. That's shocking. That's disappointing from you guys. Honestly, I expected better from you guys. Yeah. Bit tough, innit? But if you guys are enjoying, make sure you subscribe. It's much appreciated. Every single subscriber is a big, big win and it just makes me happy. See the smile? It's great. Yeah. So, breakfast time was very interesting because Alex did, in fact, join the Traitors. And I gotta say, this is a fascinating twist. Alex was not someone I expected to join the Traitors. And so, I think it's actually opened the game up a whole lot more. Marielle and Nigel are doing a fantastic job as traitors. Nobody really suspects them. Alex, nobody suspects. The current suspects around the group are Dirk, Kate, Teresa. All 3 are faithful. If they systematically vote them out, they will have a majority by the end, which is crazy. Yeah, that's wild. But obviously things can change. Backstabbing could happen. I don't know what's gonna go down in the last 4 episodes of the series, but my god, I'm excited. Genuinely, I think this actually might be the most thrilling season that I've watched. It's not the best, but I think I'm so deeply invested in it that I genuinely just don't know what's gonna happen, and I'm really, really excited to see. It is really exciting. Oh my goodness. But we've got Kate being impressed with Dirk talking his way out of banishment. He was on the chopping block yesterday, and then everyone just turned on Matt because Dirk convinced them not to vote for him, which is actually kind of crazy. I don't think I've seen that happen before on this. Like when everyone's like, yeah, we're going to vote for Dirk, we're getting Dirk out, and then Dirk defends himself so well. I was like, rah, that's crazy. But obviously, because nobody died last night, Teresa was the last person to walk in, and everyone was like, oh my god, Teresa's died! Crying, sobbing. Fee was absolutely sobbing her poor eyes out. Oh my goodness, bless her. It was a real dampener on the mood. And then Teresa walks in and goes, hello! And everyone's like, what? And she's like, what's happened? What's going on? What's all this? What's all this? If you can't tell, Teresa's my favourite. I find her so entertaining. She's so great. And then obviously Roger walks in and goes, guys, they recruited last night. There's another traitor amongst you. And I was like, huh? Like, I think this is the only season ever where they've been told a recruitment has happened. Usually they're like, something happened. Something obviously happened last night. I wonder what that could be. But they haven't outright gone, there's been a recruitment, there's someone else amongst you, which is a bit wild and a bit crazy, did catch me off guard. But then Teresa was like, well, now we need to look at changes in personality. And Kate was sitting there going, why are you so vocal about this? Why are you so vocal? Is it because you're a traitor? Like, this was all in her head, though. She didn't tell Teresa this. But Teresa was actually making sense. It would make sense to look at people whose behaviour and demeanour have changed since yesterday. But I think Alex is doing a good job. I feel like she's really sort of blending in. She's doing a good job. She's not changing her personality too much. So I think she could be onto a winner, you know. So the mission today was another one that looked really, really fun to compete in. But it just didn't really translate onto TV very well. It was like an escape room kind of thing where they had to find combinations to different lock boxes in this prison and get the bars out. Like I said, it would have been really fun to play, but it just didn't add anything to the episode, and it was just a bit of a waste of time. So I am kind of just gonna like move it along. They managed to get $12,000 out of it, which, like, big applause, I guess, but didn't do much. Was just kind of there. Yeah, I'm gonna move on to some suspicions now. So the suspicions were pretty much as expected. Fee is still very suspicious of Dirk because of the sort of thing that he said in the previous episode where he was like, oh, I forgot about murder. Again, I don't feel like people's words are sometimes the best things to go off of, because people do make mistakes, people say stupid things, people joke, and you can't take everything 100% seriously. But then if you don't take that seriously, what do you take seriously? So like it is hard to strike that balance, but I feel like she's on the right path in the sense of like looking at people who are saying a lot. Marielle. But on the whole, I feel like they're doing a really, really good job. The traitors, they're doing a fantastic job, because Kate is questioning Teresa and wondering why she's being so forceful about how they find the traitors. Is it because she's one herself? Is she overcompensating? Kate, you're barking up the wrong tree, my lovely. Like, you bang on about how you're good at these games, these kind of games, but like, you've actually been quite bad at these kind of games. Just because, like, the traitors are quite scared of you, but I don't know why, because you don't seem to be coming up with any names that are them. Like, Mark was a very, very dangerous threat, and that's why he was gotten rid of. But you, I don't know, you could be kept around because you just distract from them, and it's kind of perfect a little bit. Craig's very concerned about Kate, and then Marielle was like, yeah, I think it might be Kate. And then in another conversation which involved Kate, she was like, yeah, I think it might be Teresa, even though she was like, oh, I want to keep Teresa on side. So I don't know what kind of game Marielle is playing at the moment, but it's confusing me, because it's kind of like, oh, I'm trying to play them both at each other, but then if they have that conversation, or at the round table when she's asked for her opinion, one side is going to be like, huh? That's not what you said to me. So what's going on here? So I feel like it's a little bit interesting there. But I wrote down here, Alex is laughing at the faithfuls because she's like, wow, you guys are actually so thick and dumb. And she's also noticing how Nigel and Marielle are like masters in manipulation, which is crazy. When she said that, I was like, wow, she's noticed, she's clocked, she's worked it out, and she realizes what she's up against. She has already begged them, like, please don't kill me off like you did, like, Claire and Angus. Please, I want to work with you guys, I want to win, come on, we can do this. I always do find it really, really frustrating when, like, I'm like, you could have a really easy route to the final, or you could just make it harder for yourself by whittling down your numbers. Like, what possible benefit does that give you apart from earning more money? I guess that's it, really. Greed, isn't it? So we come to the round table. The first thing I wrote down was the fact that Paul is still here is hilarious to me. Absolute piss take. The fact that this man has been completely edited out of the series for reasons that I've been told in the comment section, apparently he was just disruptive at times. He caused a nightmare for production, so they just edited him out of the show, kind of. Which is so tough. It would have been so easy to edit him out if, like, he had gone very early on. But, like, he's still here episode 8, and I feel like I know nothing about this geezer, apart from the fact he's from the UK. Which, like, again, I've only worked out because he's said a couple of words. Like, I'm pretty sure the only words he speaks are when he's giving his vote. And even then, sometimes we don't even see his face. So, like, they've actually been quite vile with it. But it is quite funny. First up, we have Fee mentioning Dirk's murder comment. I thought they moved on from this yesterday, but clearly this group of faithfuls really like to hang on to the past. We hung on to the fact that Olivia made a mistake about the witness. Matt hung on to the fact that Teresa and Fee had a miscommunication about the witness. There's been a lot of holding on to just stuff that has kind of been squashed and moved on from, and it's starting to get a bit frustrating when I'm watching, because I'm like, oh, we're just bringing up the same points week in, week out until we've proved them wrong. Find new points. Surely there's got to be something else. Surely. Like, come on. Like, and then Dirk was like, you guys only have one piece of evidence against me, and that's what you're basing your argument on. It's just not good enough. Come up with something else. And then Fee was like, wow, yesterday when you were like, oh, yeah, you guys are going to lose your winning streak, like, etc., etc. Why didn't you say we're going to lose our winning streak? And I sat there and I was like, oh, that's a good point, actually. And then I was like, hang on a minute. No, it's not a good point. Because if he's being voted out, then you guys have lost the winning streak. I haven't. Because I didn't vote for me. I didn't vote for the losing the winning streak. So, like, that's not my problem. So, Fee's point was just completely null and void, and it was really frustrating to watch, because she really did pile on it. And then Lewis was like, oh, Dirk, you weren't really vocal in getting rid of any of the traitors. So, like, how can we see that you are a faithful when you haven't spoken up? You're very quiet, and then all of a sudden you're being accused, and now you're loud. And I was like, again, that kind of tracks. If you're being accused, you're not going to continue to be quiet. You're going to start talking. Then Dirk was like, Kate put his name out as bait, and I was like, what? And then he explained that, like, a couple of, and I actually noted at the time that this was really weird. I think it was, let me look back in my book. I'm fairly certain it was like episode 3 or 4, but it was, I'm pretty sure it was when they were voting out Olivia. No, it wasn't when when they were voting out Olivia, Kate randomly just threw out Dirk's name. And I was like, what? That's an odd vote to cast because you haven't said anything. And then Kate was like, oh yeah, I was trying to work out whether Craig was a traitor and whether he'd jump on my vote. But he didn't, so I don't think he's a traitor. And I was like, what kind of a bullshit theory or plan is that? That's horrendous. You just voting a random person to see whether someone else will vote with you to work out whether they're a traitor or not. It's just crazy. Why would you waste a vote on that? What? Yeah, weird gameplay is what that was. And then Teresa was like, oh, I think it might be you, Kate, but, like, I'm not going to vote for you right now because I need more evidence, or, like, I need just something more. And then Teresa was like, oh no, Kate was like, Teresa, you're sus. You're too leaderish. You're leading the group too much. Like, that's very traitorous behavior. Why would you say that we need to look for someone that has changed their personality? And Teresa was like, well, because the last few times we've caught a traitor, it has been a personality change. Someone has changed their personality. We saw a change in Angus. We saw a change in Claire. So why would we not continue that strategy to try and weed out the next traitor? And I was like, rah, Teresa, you're right. This has been a winning strategy so far. And then all of a sudden we're just like, oh, let's get rid of someone because of a comment they made. No! Behavior. It's how they're acting, not what they're doing or saying. How they're acting. How are they? What's their demeanour? Has their demeanour changed from when you first met them? That's why it's so important. Like, that's why Marielle and Nigel are not being suspected, is because they haven't changed their demeanour. They haven't. And that's what's kept them in the game this far, because no one suspects them. Anyway, we're going to move on to voting time. It was a bit of a done deal. I don't think anything could have changed their mind this time, which kind of sucks. But Kate voted for Dirk. Fee voted for Dirk. Teresa voted for Kate. Lewis voted for Dirk. Dirk voted for Kate. Nigel voted for Dirk. Craig voted for Dirk. Marielle voted for Dirk. Alex voted for Dirk. And Paul voted for Dirk. So, bye-bye, Dirk. You've gone. Sad, because I actually thought you were really, really lovely, and I did like you. But you did balls up with that murder comment. I don't know what possessed you to even let those words slip out of your mouth. But it's just a long day for everyone involved when you do something like that. Because I just think, actually, long day. Long day. And I did feel bad for him. Because obviously then he was like, oh, guys, I'm not just a hotel concierge. I'm actually an actor. And I do cabaret at night. And everyone was like, oh my god. But I'm actually a faithful. And everyone was like, oh, really? What was the point of you lying about all of that then? And I was like, oh, I kind of do understand. But also, I feel like people go into this game and they mention that they're actors. And people are like, oh, so you're acting right now? No. Oh, so you actually could be a traitor because you're good at acting, right? No. Because that's why Maddie didn't mention it at first. And then she did mention it. And everyone was like, oh. And she was like, what have you been in? She's like, oh, I was a corpse in Casualty. And everyone was like, oh. And she was like, I was a homeless woman in EastEnders. And everyone was like, oh, okay, we've got nothing to worry about then. Cool. But yeah, bye, Dirk. We will miss you. Yeah, Traitors Tower, very strong. Alex absolutely smashed her first day. I thought it was really, really interesting to see her in the world competing, things like that. Nigel made them all pinky promise, connect, thumbs in their mouth, that kind of thing, to bond them as a group, which I thought was quite good. I think it's important that they do stick together because, like he said, we're 2 banishments away from having a majority in the game. That's absolutely wild. Because after they murder someone tonight, there's going to be 8 people left in the game. And then, are there going to be 8 people? Wait, there's 10 people currently. Yeah, so there'll be 8 people in the game. Then they banish 2 more. And then, oh yeah, so like literally 1 episode and then it's 50-50. And then all they've got to do is get rid of 1 more and then it's Dunzo. It's Dunzo Washington. So, the names that they were throwing out, odd names. They first went for like Fee or Craig. And I was like, okay, smart kills. And then they were like, but what if we kill Kate? And I was like, she's an easy banishment. And then they were like, what if we kill Teresa? And I was like, she's another easy banishment. Both of them have sus on them at the moment. Why would you get rid of people that have sus on them? Oh, I feel like some people who play this game, they just don't think strategically. They just don't. Like, why would you get rid of them? Like, yeah, they might find you out, but like they're also under suspect of being a traitor. So just pile the pressure on them and get them out. It's not hard. Anyway, thank you guys for watching today. That is all we have time for. You guys absolutely smashed the like button. I'm hoping if we're over 700 and on our way to 800. If you haven't, what are you doing? But yeah, that's all we have time for today. Thank you guys very, very much for watching. Make sure to keep on subscribing. Make sure to keep on liking and make sure to keep on commenting. And most importantly, make sure to keep on ranting. And I will see you guys in the next episode. See you later. Bye.